What you're seeing here is just a small snippet of the collusion of different media outlets. I suppose that collusion is probably not even the right word, considering the fact that I believe there's like 6 corporations that own the vast majority of news outlets in the world. You've also seen George Soros recently buy up to 200 radio stations. Okay, so what you're looking at here is the same use of the word testy, which is not a very common word to be used, right? And that's used across 3 different news outlets. That's just 3. If you go back over the last few years, I remember going into a shop and seeing, without fail, every single one of the newspapers, they had the exact same images for the COVID response and the lockdowns and stuff. They had the exact same front page, right? So if you ever needed any more proof that the information that you take in at least when it comes to like mainstream news, mainstream newspapers, mainstream television stations, is all stemming from the same place. And if it's stemming from the same place, it's stemming from either the same individual who has a certain perspective and worldview, or it's stemming from the same group of people who share the same worldview to a greater or lesser degree. But this, just look. Do you know what I mean? Just look. You have these 3 independent of each other, at least on the surface, news agencies or news outlets, and they're all either coincidentally reporting with the same phraseology, or the terms that they've been told to use are coming from above them. So you have probably some sort of group think or think tank that proliferates out or uses these media outlets to proliferate out a message, right? So what you're seeing here is not organic, spontaneous, natural responses and reporting of certain news stories. They're strictly there to just share across a message, right? To grow and develop and nurture the algorithm, or even creating the algorithm, right? So go and look. Go into the shop and pick up a newspaper and see if any of them differ in the conclusions they make or in the arguments that they put forward against any of today's news, right? Go in and have a read of them and have a look and see if they come up, if any of them have anything different to say. Not the words that they use, but the overall message. See if any of them differ, or if any of them pose an opposing theory or idea to each other. You'll find that they don't, right? They might kind of allude to it, but ultimately the conclusion they make tends to be the exact same. This is not just the case in America. This is the case in Ireland. You can go into any village, town, city shop, look at the newspapers, pick one story from each. They'll all be covering the exact same things, right? Read them and look at the conclusions that they make. They're nearly all 100% uniform. And to me, at least, this shows that you cannot trust mainstream media outlets for a well-developed kaleidoscopic approach or kaleidoscopic perspective on any issue. They all orient themselves around the same conclusions, and they all cover the exact same stories, right? So just as this is drip fed from above down into these CNN and the Guardians and all, whatever, it's the same in Ireland, right? It's the exact same in Ireland. You can go and test this in any local shop.